name is Ron Garbutt, Dickinson College class of 2009. The documentary I am currently making is called Why Didn't They Come? And it's a short film examining the pros and cons to a fire tax to try and alleviate the fundraising burden on the local fire companies.
When your house is on fire, you really don't want to say that you can't afford enough fuel or pay for firefighters to not respond to your house fire when you need us.
Is everybody out of the house?
911, what is your emergency?
65 West Lowther Street, house fire, box 4101.
Companies 41, 40, and 45. Truck 45, rescue 40.
I have no response out of any units on this fire. What's your wishes?
Go ahead and redispatch.
Chief 3 from headquarters. I have no response out of any borough units as of yet. Engine company 36 for 41, engine company 39 for engine 40, engine company 35 for engine 45.
The station has been around and the company has been around for almost 220 years now.
We're just the basic engine company. We go in and not only put out the fire, but we'll try to salvage any belongings that we can.
We're first responders. If somebody's trapped in a car, we go. If there's a cardiac arrest, we go and medical assist. If there's a hazardous material spill, we go. If there's a fire, we go. If there's a hostage situation, many times we're called to assist.
Over the years, their responsibilities have dramatically increased.
This station in the 1970s responded to about 200 calls a year. Now we're over 1,000.
The fire service in Carlisle, that is truly a gift from heaven.
Our budget is usually on average about $225,000.
And that entails utilities, insurance, maintenance of vehicles, upkeep to the building.
We have our operation costs for equipment, for training. We pay our own gas bill, we pay our own electric bill here at the station.
How much was spent last year, how much can we afford, and we come up with an operating budget.
It's roughly about the same as expenses, about $250,000.
We have some townships that surround us that do not have a paid or do not have a volunteer fire service.
The township contracts fire departments to provide fire protection for them.
We provide an allocation to each fire company,
and that takes up about at least 80% of what our annual income is. We try to cover it from some fund drives, obviously some donations that we receive from the public.
Parking at the car shows in the summer, and we get 6 shows a year, and that's it.
Filling pools with their tanker truck.
You can have fundraising as far as bingos. You can have fundraising as far as breakfasts or dinners or gun raffles or meat raffles.
We lost our major fundraiser that we used to have, which was parking cars out at the Carlisle Fairgrounds. The lot that we leased is being developed,
which is going to take about a $60,000 to $100,000 shot to the Union Fire Company's budget.
It's going, it's not appropriate to have expenses exceed your income.
And there's going to be a shortfall. How we make that up, we might have to cut a service.
We take a look at what we anticipate our income to be, and if necessary, we cut items to try to run at a zero budget. There's several reasons for it. One is we just don't have the physical site that lends itself to holding fundraising events on site. The other main reason is volunteers are not as plentiful as they once were. Back in the 60s and the 70s, it was nothing to have 8, 9, 10 people spending the night at the station.
But with all the training requirements and the demand that are put on volunteers, our numbers have declined roughly from 300,000 in 1972 to about 72,000 currently.
The volunteers, as I said, are slowly dwindling, and I think one of the reasons they are dwindling is a lot of folks get burned out on the fundraising.
Police services are all paid. They're compensated for all the training that they take. All their supplies are paid for. EMS is a paid service. They bill customers. They're reimbursed by the federal governments for services that they provide. But the volunteer fire services are expected to spend their time raising money as a charity, begging and asking the public for money to support a critical 911 function.
I don't think it's fair for volunteer fire services to go to individual members of the public and continue to ask for money repeatedly.
It's very, very low, the ratio of what you send out to what people actually respond.
Those mail-outs traditionally aren't that great. We receive, I think our average last year, or the last 2 or 3 years, we received less than 20% of a return, and the average household donation was $28 or $32.
They have shown that the money's not there.
Tax support to a volunteer fire company.
From the fire tax.
It's a new fire tax.
Trying to enact a tax.
With a fire tax, again, everybody's going to pay for the service.
Nobody likes to hear the word tax, but a tax is going to have to come in geared specifically for the fire department.
A mill is a mathematical term. Essentially, it means 1/1000th, so that if you have a $100,000 home, 1 mill would mean that your tax would be $100.
There's one township out of the 5 that we serve. They initiated a fire tax.
Right now it's 0.22 mils, which brings in approximately $250,000 to $260,000 a year.
A 0.22 mil on that same $150,000 house would be a tax of $33 and would, I might estimate, raise a little over $200,000.
I think, to say, I don't think there's any easy way to answer the question. What is one's feeling on taxes?
Horrible. They're bad. Real bad.
I think they're really high.
They're not bad. Compared to everywhere else, they're not bad. We retired here from another state, thinking that our taxes would be lower, and they're higher than Northern Virginia.
Before it would ever be enacted, I think it's going to require 2 things. I think number one, you're going to have to hear from the community.
I don't think I would mind, because $50 a year really wouldn't seem like that much monthly on your rent.
No, that's not much.
For $25 or $50, it's worth it.
As far as fire tax or anything like that, that to me is worth paying the taxes for.
There would need to be a way to determine that the funding is being appropriated.
We couldn't go out and buy a brand new fire truck with all the whistles and bells on it. We might have to eliminate some chrome or some fancy things, and I have no problem with that.